It was a long 24 hours, let me put it that way. It's always tough to lose, and even more tough to lose 5-1. We spoke about we made some big mistakes in that game. Is what it is. I watched the game back, and it's never as bad as it look, or as good as it look, and it was definitely not as bad. If you look away from, let's say, the 3 big mistakes, 2 clearly individual mistakes from David and Ethan, then our own goal, then they didn't create much. Newcastle in an away game. I think we started very well, got 1-0 in front, so everything was on track. But it's football, it happened. Obviously some things we're not pleased with, that we need to adjust and address and move on, and that's what we do. And I'll be very disappointed if he's not coming flying out tomorrow night under the floodlight at home. Really try to be brave, aggressive going forward.
Moving on obviously to this week's game, in terms of obviously Brighton have got a new manager. How has your assessment of that been? Did you kind of just look at the one game they played against Tottenham was that like your assessing point, or did you kind of look at the game that were going positively before?
Mainly, I think they played 2, both Liverpool and Tottenham, and so we obviously looked at these 2. Then I'm looking always more on the manager. So I look more on Roberto. I think he's done a very, very good job in Sassuolo. Fantastic. Shakhtar also fine, but I think it was the Sassuolo job that is the most impressive. So of course he inherits a good squad, good team, well drilled team, and now he needs to put his own ideas in. I think it's an interesting signing to the Premier League. Very, very interesting. But we know what Brighton will come with. They'll try to dominate possession, try to be flexible, and we need to be able to close that down.
So they'll bounce back. If you look back to the beginning of the season, some of the results, some people will point to the Manchester United result in particular. Since the results haven't been so good for a while, when does that become a concern?
I think I can't remember our last. Definitely our last 3 games, but I think before that we won against Leeds. So we won 5-2 against Leeds. Then we met maybe the team in form Arsenal. Lost 3-0, where I actually think we've done a lot of good things, but they are just flying. Then fine-ish performance against Bournemouth, 0-0 away. Kept a clean sheet for the first time in 19 games, decent. And then this, I would call it a freak game against Newcastle, because we're never going to make and that will be never, I mean that, a own goal and 2 big individual mistakes in the same game again. I'll maybe take 100 years of Brentford history before that will happen again, hopefully. So that's a freak one. So for me, there's bits and underlying bits I always try to improve, and we will come flying out tomorrow. I'm not in doubt of that.
In regards to Friday and what happened last week, is a home game against Brighton under the lights almost like a perfect scenario to, as you say, bounce back, to come flying out? You know, the style that Brighton have, the atmosphere that the GTEC creates for an evening game, is that almost a perfect scenario?
Yeah, I would say definitely home game under the floodlights at GTEC Stadium is hopefully a big advantage for us. We know the fans are amazing. It's up to us to also create energy so we can bounce and the energy off each other and come flying out. I think that's extremely important. I think Brighton is a very good team. So no matter if we face Brighton, Wolverhampton, or Chelsea, Arsenal, whatever, it didn't matter. We have to come out and bounce back. I understand where you come from in terms of style of play and so on, but home game under the floodlights, very important.
Goals are also important as well. Another factor in, I know the opponents in the last 3 games, but also just 1 goal in those 3 games as well. So obviously from the attacking players, and I suppose from yourself as well, that's something that you would have liked to see more of.
Yeah, 100%. No doubt. I think the last 3 games Yeah, let's take 3 games. I think we should have been creating a tiny bit more, little bit more sharpness. But before that, I think we scored, I don't know, 15 goals, something like that, and were one of the highest goal scorers in the league, which is quite remarkable from our perspective. But it shows that we also have the quality in the squad. So, you know how it is in the season, it goes a little bit up and down, and sometimes you're just scoring for fun, and suddenly you can't score, and it happens to everyone except from Holland. Everyone else need to have periods where they're not scoring goals.
Yeah, he had a drought last week. It took 65 minutes to get a goal.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Lastly, it's been a couple of years since, well, this month will officially be, I guess, 4 years since you officially became head coach here at Brentford. Reflecting on that time period, obviously not very long because we don't have a long time, but how have you found, I know you've got a huge love for the club and the community, but has it been how you expected it to be?
Yeah. I would say it's been more. There's definitely more. Sometimes you go into a job and you have dreams and ambitions, but you never know if you're going to achieve them. But I think you're right. It's we could sit here for hours to talk about the journey we've been on, but it's been a remarkable, unbelievable journey with a lot of ups and downs, but mainly ups. We, and I mean we, me, my staff, everyone working at the club, the fans, the players, have together created some magic moments that forever will be history in Brentford, in Brentford history, and I'm very proud to be part of that.